So this part will be a continuation for the discussion of operating and financial leverage, since leverage is already introduced as well as the operating leverage. For now, allow me to introduce to you what I have learned about this financial leverage. As what it is defined, financial leverage reflects the amount of debts used in the capital structure of the firm. It also determines how the operation is to be financed. Also, a powerful tool because it allows investors and companies to earn income from assets they wouldn't normally be able to afford. So the concept of financial leverage is not only on business, it can also be applied to every individual. We can all say that debt is part of our lives since we are lacking for resources sometimes, and businesses also considered that as one of their vital means in continuing their operations. In the point of view of every business, that did not only save them from the need for capital, but it is also taken to enlarge the profit of the shareholders. It is helpful to think of operating leverage as primarily affecting the left-hand side of the statement of financial position, and financial leverage as affecting the right-hand side, which is the liabilities and owner's equity, since it determines how the operation is to be financed. And basically, financial leverage is also termed as trading on equity, or the use of borrowed funds to purchase assets for the entity and not to spend too much of their own money. So let us now proceed to the impact on earnings. So in studying the impact of financial leverage, two financial plans shall be examined, each employing a significantly different amount of debt in the capital structure. Financing totaling 200,000 is required to carry the assets of the firm. Plan A is leverage because in order to have the 200,000, 75% of its fund will be through debt financing, and the remaining 25% of it will be through equity financing, while Plan B is going to get its 25% from debt and 75% from equity. So let's proceed to figure 8-1, computation of earnings per share, or the EPS. This table shows that although Plan A and Plan B had the same operating income on EBIT, we can see that they really have material and fundamental impact. Plan B conservative has a good outcome or result at low EBIT or operating income, and Plan A leverage will gain higher earnings when EBIT goes up, and the two financial plans has no difference when the operating income is 16,000. So let us now move on to degree of financial leverage. Degree of financial leverage, or the DFL, measures the effect of change in one variable to another variable. Also, the percentage change in on the EPS that occurs as a result of a percentage change in earnings before interest and taxes, or the EBIT. DFL can be very meaningful to investors and management by helping them understand how exposed the business net income is to change in operating income, and it says a lot about the capital structure of business. This ratio also includes that the higher the degree of financial leverage, the more volatile earnings will be. So let's proceed to the degree of financial leverage sample problem. So let's compute the degree of financial leverage for Plan A and Plan B. At an EBIT level of 36,000 pesos, Plan A calls for 12,000 pesos of interest at all levels of financing, and Plan B requires 4,000 pesos. So, mobra. And as expected, Plan A has much higher degree of financial leverage. At an EBIT level of 36,000, 1% increases in earnings will produce a 1.5% increases in earnings per share under Plan A, but only 1.1% increase under Plan B. Plan A will always exceed Plan B through the FL may be computed for any level of operation, and it will change from point to point. So next one is the limitation to use of financial leverage. We can observe that if that is a good thing, why does the company had to sell its stocks? So with exclusive debt financing at an EBIT level of 36,000, we would have a financial leverage factor of 1.8, and with no stock, the company would have to borrow the whole 200,000 and does not have the reason to sell its stocks. This concept goes the same with the saying that all things go smooth when properly managed, and also on the idea that all excess is harmful. Take for example, if the company uses debt financing more on its finance, their lenders or creditors might seek for higher interest rate, and they might also get some restriction on company. Addition to that is while equity owners benefit from higher earnings per share attributed to increased leverage, too much interest expense increased default risk. This can scare away potential investors and trigger their existing investor and will make the price of their stocks decline. Next is the combination of operating and financial leverage. So degree of financial leverage is the entire income statement shows the impact of a change in sales or volume on bottom line earnings per share. It is also it is a ratio that summarizes the effect of both operating and financial leverage. So the degree of combined leverage summarizes that combined effect that the degree of operating leverage and degree of financial leverage has on earnings per share. Combined leverage, by the way, is also termed as total leverage or composite leverage. So figure 8-2 combining operating and financial leverage. Figure 2 shows what happens to profitability as the firm's sales go from 160,000 or 80,000 units to 200,000. Since operating leverage has its effect on operating risk and financial leverage and financial risks, then both these leverages are related and have an effect on earnings per share, and if combined leverage is obtained, it will show the total risk of the company. So here's the formula for degree of combined leverage. Degree of combined leverage equals to change in EPS percent change in divided by percent change in sales or in volume. Using data from 8-2, the degree of combined leverage is percent change in EPS over percent change in sales. So 1.50 divided by 1.50 times 100% over 40,000 divided by 160,000 times 100% is equals to 100% over 25% for the total of 4. Every percentage point in sales will be reflected in a 4% change in earnings per share at this level of operation. So another formula to get the degree of combined leverage or DCL is through this one. DCL is equals to quantity multiplied by the difference of price and variable cost over quantity times price minus variable cost minus fixed cost minus the interest. So, and this concludes our group's presentation on Chapter 8, Operating and Financial Leverage. Hope you all gained something from our discussion, and as an everyday reminder to you all, stay safe and stay sane. Thank you.